I asked my whole team if everything was on track. One by one, they all said yes. Weeks later, I found out that several of them didn't clearly understand what they were supposed to be delivering. They weren't lying. They answered exactly the question I asked. Things were going fine as far as they could tell. I just didn't ask the right question. Stick around. Across my career, one pattern keeps showing up. People skills shape long-term success. I've seen it in high-stakes technical work, leadership, business, and family life. This channel is about solving the people puzzle. Most people already know they should ask open-ended questions. What most people don't realize is that some of their open-ended questions are still getting them fine. Today, I want to walk you through 3 things I learned the hard way about what actually makes a question open, and what's still leaving you in the dark even when you think you're asking the right questions. The most dangerous answer you can get from your team isn't no, it's fine. I ran a project a few years back where I'd assigned tasks across the team. Before a key milestone, I went around the room. Is everything going okay with your piece? One by one, they said yes. Felt solid. I moved on. Weeks later, I found out that several of them had been working without a clear picture of what they were supposed to deliver. They weren't hiding anything. Things were going fine from where they sat. Fine meant, I'm doing work. It didn't mean, I understand what done looks like and I'm building toward it. People answer the question you asked. They don't answer the question you meant to ask. Is everything okay has a very specific answer. It tells you whether someone is in distress. It doesn't tell you whether they're aligned. Those are completely different things. And a yes-no question cannot tell you which one you're actually getting. The swap that changed things for me, instead of, is your piece on track, I started asking, what's left before you can integrate with everyone else? Instead of, do you understand your objective, I asked, what's your understanding of how your work connects to the overall goal? Those questions can't be answered with fine. They surface the picture in someone's head. And if that picture doesn't match yours, you want to find out now, not weeks later when fixing it is painful. Open-ended questions can be too open, and when they are, you still get fine. How are things going is technically open-ended. You can't answer it with yes or no, but the answer is almost always good or fine because the question has too many possible places to go, so people reach for the easiest one, the social script. I've also seen this from the other direction. Being on the receiving end of a diagnostic checklist. You're stuck on something, someone comes to help, and they start running through it. Did you try X? Did you check Y? Did you restart it? If you've already tried all those things, that checklist is just friction. It doesn't respect what you've already done, and it doesn't move you forward. The question that actually cuts to it, what have you tried so far? Leapfrogs the entire checklist. Starts from where you actually are. The principle, open-ended, but specific enough to give the person somewhere to land. Not, how are things, but what problems have you run into in the last few days? Not, how's the project going, but what needs to happen before we can call this done? The specificity is what converts a technically open question into one that actually works. You're narrowing the option space just enough that the person can give you a real answer instead of a social script. There's a question so simple it almost feels like cheating. Michael Bungay Stanier calls it the awe question. And what else? I spend time as a coaching client as well as a coach, and I've noticed something about myself in those conversations. I'm pretty goal-oriented. I lock in on what I'm trying to accomplish, and I tend to forget to notice what I'm actually feeling about it. A coach asked me, how did that feel once, and it stopped me cold. I hadn't been tracking that dimension at all. The question opened up something I didn't know I'd been skipping. And what else does something similar, but it's available in any conversation. It signals that you're not done listening without steering anything. No implied direction, no assumption about what else should be, just, I think there's more here. Almost always, the second answer is more revealing than the first. Most people give you their safest answer first. The what else is where they tell you what they actually think, the thing they weren't sure you wanted to hear, or the thing they hadn't quite put into words yet. You don't have to have the perfect question ready. You just have to be curious enough to ask one more. 3 things to take away. 1. Fine is not information. It confirms the absence of panic. Ask questions that surface the picture actually in someone's head. 2. Open-ended doesn't automatically mean useful. Give the question enough specificity that the person has somewhere to land. 3. You don't need the perfect question. You just need one more. And what else is always there? The one that surprised me most: the faster things are moving, the more this matters. Speed generates assumptions. Assumptions generate drift. Yes/no questions won't catch the drift until you're already behind. Open-ended questions feel slower. They're not. They're the early warning system. For a week, pay attention to the questions you're actually asking. Count how many get you a one-word answer. Then start substituting. You'll find out things about your team, your colleague, and your projects that you didn't know. If this was useful, I've got more in this quick tips series and a lot more on the communication skills that actually matter in technical and leadership work. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't. If you'd like to get this kind of thinking delivered to you, I have a newsletter called Thoughts from the Corner. Same focus: communication, productivity, and people skills for technical professionals. The sign-up link is in the description.